In this video, I'll be sharing with you a requested illustration on how to achieve this stylish built-up neckline princess dart dress with extra ruche effect. And this dress is from Mara's Fashion on TikTok. So to start, I'll be cutting this in a miniature form, and I have marked out the starting line because this is a built-up neckline. You can use 1.5 inches or 1 inch. I marked the shoulder to bust, under bust and waist. We are going to draft the upper part first. So I'll mark the shoulder divided by 2 and add ½ inch to it because this dress has a sleeve. You're going to use that ½ inch to attach your sleeve. Come down by 1 inch at this point, and after marking that, mark a basic neckline of 3 inches. From there, you're going to just mark out your neckline. So we are just going to use that for a guide and connect from your shoulder slope to the neckline. The next step is to find your chest line, which is your bust circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches, and I will mark. So let's use that as the chest line, and I'll draw out a straight line. After marking that, what I'll do is to go ahead to mark the shoulder divided by 2 plus half. Then I'll go ahead to draw out a straight line. Now place your tape on that your shoulder and divide it by 2. Fold your tape, divide it by 2, mark ½ inch and mark your bust circumference divided by 4. Connect this all the way up and connect to your bust circumference divided by 4. So after marking this, I'll start by marking my dart intake. I'll mark my nipple to nipple divided by 2, then draw out a straight line. Now after you're done marking this, the dart intake, we are using a shoulder dart for the upper part of this dress. So go ahead to mark 1 inch on both sides of your pattern. If you're plus size, please use 1.5 inches, or if you're a bit busty or your bust is fuller, right, go ahead to use 1.5 inches and connect. Now after doing that, outline and connect from the bust to the under bust. Now what I will do is to divide my shoulder into 2 equal parts and mark. I'll place my ruler and I will connect. After I'm done connecting, I'll mark ½ inch on both sides. Go ahead to place my ruler and connect this towards the bust area of this pattern. The next step is to replace that 1 inch dart intake you took out and blend it to the armhole. Now mark your bust circumference divided by 4, and you're going to add your sewing allowance. Here, mark your under bust circumference divided by 4, measure the dart intake and replace. Add your sewing allowance. Mark your waist circumference divided by 4, measure the dart intake here. Then you're going to replace it, then add your sewing allowance. After you're done marking that, place your ruler to connect and connect this all the way down. So I'm just going to go ahead to blend out with my marker. The next step is to mark your bust dart, and to get your bust dart is the difference between your shoulder to waist in front and your shoulder to waist at the back, right? Minus what you have at the back, take it out from the front, that is your bust dart. So for the built up neckline, I'm using 1.5 inches and I'll blend it into the pattern this way. Then I will now curve the neckline going all the way down. Use any depth for the neckline that is okay for you, right? And I'll just connect this. So this is what I have at this point, and I'll go ahead to cut this out. After cutting this out, we'll go ahead to cut out that of the back pattern. Please blend out your dart when you're cutting this. So while cutting this, extend your dart all the way to the extra 1.5 inches for the built up neckline. So I'll open it up, and this is what I have. Now let's go ahead to draft that of the back pattern. So for the back pattern, I've gone ahead to mark out the basic measurement. This is the zipper, and I marked the shoulder to bust and waistline, right? And I added extra inches on top for the built up neckline. So here I'll mark my neckline of 3 inches at this point first and extend it all the way up. So for your built up neckline, you can use 1 inch or 1.5, then blend it out to the neckline this way. Now I'll just connect the neckline for the built up neckline. So this is what we'll be having for the upper part, and I'll blend it out. So remember, we are doing this in form of an illustration. So the next step I'm going to take now is to go ahead to mark my darts. I'll mark the nipple to nipple divided by 2, and I'm going to mark this all the way to the upper part of this pattern, and I'll go ahead to mark a straight line. I'll mark ½ inch on both sides of my pattern, and I'll come down by ½ inch and I will connect. So after I'm done connecting, the next step is to mark my dart intake. Mark the waist circumference divided by 4, measure the dart intake, then replace it, and I'll add my sewing allowance. So at the bust, I'll mark the bust circumference divided by 4, and I'll go ahead to add my sewing allowance to the pattern. So after I'm done doing that, I'll go ahead to use my ruler and I will connect this all the way up. The back of the dress, to get rid of the zipper bulge, I'll mark 1/2 inch. So from here now, I'll go ahead to place my ruler and I'll connect this all the way going to the upper part of this pattern. So after doing that, I'll just go ahead to cut this out. So I'll just go ahead to trace out or cut out this pattern. So after cutting this out, I'll cut out the zipper bulge, and this is what the back pattern will look like. Now we're going to cut out the lower part of the skirt. This is where all the whole drama of the dress is happening. The lower part, which is the skirt, here is my waistline. Now you're going to place your tape at the waist and you'll be measuring 7 inches to get your hip point. I'm not marking the actual 7 inches. I'm using this as a guide, and I'll go ahead to draw out a straight line there. So here is the hip point of this pattern. So now what you do is place your tape and get your waist to knee point. From that your waist to knee point, you draw out a straight line and go up by 2 inches from your knee point. So what you now do is to go ahead to insert your waist measurement divided by 4, add your sewing allowance. Mark your hip circumference divided by 4 and add your sewing allowance. Whatever you have on your hip, minus 2 inches and mark it on that 2 inches you took out from the knee point and take it all the way down. Now you're going to place your curved drew, connect from the hip all the way to the waistline, and then connect this to these 2 inches you have here. After connecting it, you're going to go ahead to extend it all the way to the lower part. After you're done marking that, you're just going to go ahead to trace this out first. So after cutting this out, you're going to use this to cut out the back pattern of the skirt. All you have to do is like to add 2 inches in front and you trace it out. Right, that is, you add 2 inches like this at the front and a zipper allowance to it. Now let's go ahead to explain all this part that has a ruche. Now you're going to place your skirt pattern and decide where you want the ruche effect to stop. So after that, you add extra inches to your hip. You can add extra 2 to 3 inches, whatever that will not be tight or fitted on your skirt pattern. That is what you will use. So now you're going to cut out 2 of these, and 2 of these, now you're going to get the midpoint. Now you'll be attaching this directly on your skirt. The waistline is supposed to match the waistline of your skirt. It's just that you add like extra 1 inch after that, because you'll be joining this to that of the back. That is, you cut 2 pieces of this pattern now that is supposed to be on top of your skirt. Then you use 1/2 inch to join it on both sides to the one you cut out at the back pattern. So you will now go ahead to sew your skirt, like you join your the front part of your skirt and the back part of your skirt together. Then after joining it, you will now put that extra dress that you made in on top of the dress. That is, you're sewing your skirt separately and you're sewing that part separately, but the only thing that will align is the waistline will be the same, but the hip area will not be the same. You're adding extra inches so that it will be free and you can create that draping on the skirt, right? So after you're done making the skirt, you're done making that side and then adding this drawstring to the side of your dress, you can now go ahead to attach the upper part of the skirt to the lower part of the skirt. That is, for the upper part of this dress now, you're going to join it separately. You're going to join the front part of your blouse to the back part of your blouse, join the front part of your skirt to the back part of your skirt. So now for the back, after you're done stitching the lower part of the back part of the skirt, that part that has the zipper, so what you do is you slit open the part that is supposed to go towards the back. Do not cut it into two, just slit it. And what you now do is you're going to fold it into your zipper allowance, because if you check at the back of this dress, the part that has the ruche, there is no slit at the back. There's no slit on the ruche, just the slit towards the zipper that was tucked into the skirt or pleated into the zipper side. Then that way this extra fabric that you're using to create this ruche will now drop at the back, making it not to stick together with that of the skirt, because if you join it together with the skirt, you won't be able to have that free effect on it.